So for today, we'll discuss another methodology in solving LP models. And we actually call this the revised simplex method. Now, from the name itself, it's still founded on the simplex procedures, the one that we learned last meeting and a few sessions ago. The procedure is still the same. It's just that we have some revisions. That's why it's revised simplex. And we have some revisions, and we use matrices to come up with the iterations instead of tableaus. So the difference between what we will be discussing today and the methodology in the previous meetings is that in the previous meetings we transfer the coefficients of the LP model into a table called the simplex tableau. So every iteration would involve one simplex tableau or one simplex table. For the revised simplex method, on the other hand, we will be using matrices, matrix multiplication in every iteration. And hence, since we are going to use matrix multiplication, it will be good to start with discussing the matrix representation of LP models. All LP models, once we convert it into standard form, we can actually derive the matrix counterpart of that LP model. And it is given on the left side and the right side of your screen. So assume in your mind that you have an LP model, whether it's a LP model with less than constraint, greater than constraints, it doesn't matter. But you have an LP model, and the first step to solve that LP model is to derive the standard form. Okay, so in your minds right now, you just assume that you have the standard form of the LP model. Okay, so whether it's maximization or minimization, okay, regardless of the objective, whether it's max or min, you will see that in your model, it's objective function coefficients multiplied by a decision variable, right? In the objective function, it's always coefficients multiplied by a variable. So we can now represent the coefficients as vector C. So this capital letter C here represents a row vector. And in your Indumat, you should have remembered what vectors and what matrices are. And for vectors, there is a row vector and a column vector. No? Row vector meaning it's one row lang, and column vector it's one column. Whereas a matrix, it is an m by n, no? Meaning m rows and n columns. Okay. X, on the other hand, is a column vector. Okay. So if you're familiar, if you recall the size of vectors, a row vector is actually one row by n columns. Okay, and this one, a column vector is actually n rows times one column. Okay, that's the size of the column vector. N rows times one column. So therefore, if you multiply C and X together, 1 by n and n by 1, you actually get a 1 by 1 vector. Okay, a 1 by 1. That would give you your Z value. Okay, that will give you your Z value. So anyway, for now, it's good to know that in your objective function, it's simply a matter of multiplying objective function coefficient, which is your C here, okay, the objective function coefficient vector, and your X is your variable vector. So since I asked you earlier to assume that we are actually modeling in matrix form, the standard form of the LP model, then the variable vector means that it includes all variables, including the slack, the surplus, artificial variables that you put into your standard form. Okay, so variable vector does not just contain the x's, it contains the r's, the s, the slack, and the surplus variables. Okay, So next, in your constraints, an LP model is always subjected to a set of constraints. And those constraints are represented by M number of constraints or M rows, okay, in your LP model, M number of rows. So therefore, if we isolate the constraint coefficients of those variables, of the decision variables and the slack surplus and artificial variables, then we come up with the matrix A, which is the constraint coefficient matrix. Okay, and the constraint coefficient matrix is an M rows, meaning there are M constraints, and N columns, meaning there are N variables. So it's an M by N matrix. Okay, and X again from the previous slide is your variable vector. So if you multiply the constraint coefficients with the variables, then you get the left side of your constraints. Okay, and take note that this is equal to, because you have already added the slack, the surplus, and the artificial variables necessary to convert the model in standard form. And then your B here is your right-hand side vector or your solution column values. Okay, that's your right-hand side vector. And this one, again, is a row, it's a column. It's a column vector of size M by 1, meaning M rows and 1 column. Okay, size M by 1. Okay, so going back, the size of this is M by N. The size of X from the previous slide is N by 1. Here, it's N by 1. So if you multiply M by N and N by 1, you get an M by 1 vector, okay, which is exactly what we have here. Okay, so in case that you have forgotten much of matrix multiplication, getting the determinant of a matrix, getting the inverse of a matrix, I will not be discussing the different methodologies of computing for those anymore here in IO/1. You should have learned and mastered those things in Indumath. And therefore, if for some reason you have forgotten, you need to go back to your Indumath notes on matrices and inverse of a matrix. Review them because you need to do them manually here. I will just give you the inverse of a matrix. I will not solve for it, but in your exam, you have to solve for it, no, manually. Okay, you have to go back and review those lessons in Indumath. Okay, so therefore, we can actually summarize a lengthy LP model, regardless of how many variables and how many constraints an LP model has. You can actually summarize it this way. Okay, you can actually summarize it here in this manner, in matrix form. Okay, so max min z equal to c times x, subject to ax equals b, and x greater than or equal to o, where this one o is a null vector. Again, the null vector is size. This one has a size of, since you have n number of variables, then you should have n zeros in the null vector. It's a column vector of size n by 1. This is a column vector, okay, of size n by 1. Okay, and it's not 0, it's O. X greater than or equal to O, where O contains, it's a null vector, so therefore it contains all zeros. Okay, so that is your LP model, no, in matrix form. So what we will be doing is we will be expanding this matrix representation of LP models in order to capture what we have been doing in the previous lessons. Okay, so let me take you back to our previous lessons when we were solving LP models using simplex, using big M, and using two-phase. Okay, there's only one basic concept that you need to remember, and that is the simplex tableau requirements. Okay, so let me review you on that. So for the simplex tableau requirements, number one, if you recall, is that the objective function coefficients of all the non-basic variables in the current iteration should be zero at all times. If you recall, there were three, no? The first one is at all times in any iteration, the objective function coefficient of non-basic variables must be zero in the z row or objective function row. And second, the constraint coefficients of all the non-basic variables should form an identity matrix in the constraints. That's the second requirement. And the third requirement is the values of the basic variables and your objective function z should be readily readable in the solution column of the simplex tableau. Okay, dapat kung nakita nyo sa solution column 12, dapat yun yung value nung z or nung basic variable mo in that iteration. Okay, so those are the three requirements. And before we go to the three requirements, let's set up the original set of matrices based on the original LP model. Okay, so as you see on the right side of your screen, you have four. Okay, you have four matrices slash vectors. One is your C, which is a row vector. This one. Okay. Next, you have your X, which is a column vector. Next, you have your A, which is a matrix, M by N matrix. And then you have your B, which is a column vector as well. Okay. So these four will now be broken down as follows on the left side of your screen. For your variable vector X, as you can see, it's a column vector and it consists of x1, x2 up to xn, where x again is a generic representation and includes your slack, surplus, and artificial variables. Okay, so what this vector is saying is that you have n total number of variables in the standard form of your LP model. Next, you have your B. Ito. Okay, so tapos na tayo sa X. Itong B, this is the right-hand side of your original LP model. So again, depending on how many constraints you have, if you have M constraints, then you need to have M number of right-hand side values. Diba? So each row, may isang value ka. Since you have M rows, you have M different right-hand side values. That is B1, B2, up to B sub M. Okay. Next, you have your vector C, which is the objective function coefficients of all your variables. Since you have n number of total variables in your standard form of the LP model, then you should also have n number of objective function coefficients. Okay, so as you can see, in this methodology, everything is driven by the number of variables that you have. Okay, everything is driven by the number of variables that you have. Even your iterations later for revised simplex will be driven by your X vector. Okay. So finally, this matrix A here is an M by N matrix, and it's understandable. Each row, okay, each row here represents a constraint. Okay, each row represents a constraint, and matrix A represents the left side of your standard form of your constraints, the left side. Okay, because the right side is already represented by your B. Okay, so the left side will now be represented by A11, A12, and so on. And these are the constraint coefficients of your LP model standard form. Yeah, M is the number of constraints, N is the number of variables. So you have 4 original set of matrices slash vectors, okay, in your LP model. So together, if you formulate these 4, if you put these 4 matrices and vectors together, you come up with this one on the right side. Okay, you come up with this one, this model. This one is your LP model in matrix form. Okay, so now let's proceed. What is the revised simplex method? It is a technique for solving LP models using matrix manipulation. So just to emphasize the difference between what we've been doing in the previous sessions and today, for the revised simplex method, it works on the principle that the tableau, okay, of any iteration here, actually we don't use tableau, we use matrices, okay, but we can actually pattern it after the simplex tableaus that we've been doing in the past. Okay, so the tableau or the matrices of any iteration can be derived from the original equations and not necessarily from previous. So this is a very important difference or concept, no? In the big M and two-phase methods that we had in the previous sessions, you'd notice that for you to get to the next iteration, you would need the current iteration. Okay, so example, if you are in iteration 4 right now, and it's not yet optimal, for you to get to iteration 5, or for you to be able to develop the coefficients of the simplex tableau in iteration 5, you need to refer to iteration 4 alone. In other words, when you do your algebraic manipulation, your Gauss-Jordan, you are doing it based on the contents of iteration 4. In order for you to derive the contents of iteration 5. If you want iteration 6, you have your reference would be the contents of iteration 5. You always look at the previous iteration, such that if you make a mistake in the previous iteration, your next iteration would definitely suffer alongside with it, di ba? Magkakawali ka na rin if mali yung previous iteration mo. Now, in revised simplex, ang sinasabi dito is that if you are in iteration 3, okay, the only inputs that you need from iteration 2 are the entering and leaving variables. All you need to know from the previous iteration would be the entering and leaving variables so that you know what the basic and non-basic variables are in your next iteration. That's the only thing that you need to know from the previous. And the rest of the calculations will now be based on the original equations. Anong ibig sabihin ng original equations? Ito yon. Okay? So, everything will now be based on this. Okay? On this slide. So, any iteration in the revised simplex will always go back to the original set of matrices which represent the original equations. As you can see, ito yung original sa right side ng screen niyo. Ito yung original model and you will see that in the original model you have X, you have B, you have C, and you have matrix A. So therefore, this slide here on the left side of your screen represents the original LP model and is referred to as the original set of matrices. So in the revised simplex method, every iteration would have to refer back to this original set of matrices and not necessarily in the previous iteration. So that's an advantage. So that even if you make some numerical mistakes in the calculation of the previous iteration, it will not affect your current iteration because you always have to go back to the original. Huwag ka lang magkakamali sa paglagay ng coefficients dito sa original matrices. Okay? Patay ka. Kasi laging dito ka babalik. So pag lagi kang dito babalik at mali yung coefficients nyo dito sa original matrices, then mali na yung lahat ng iterations ninyo. Okay? So, again, very good to take note that that's one of the things that differentiate revised simplex from the previous simplex that we have been doing. Okay? So, to start off, we refer again to the original matrices on the left side of your screen. And we say that in every iteration, what we have been doing in the past, no, when we use the simplex procedure, is that in every iteration, I always emphasize that you should label your basic and non-basic variables. Kasi yun yung magdidikta kung optimal na ba yung iteration o hindi. So I hope that everyone in this class remembers that I always remind everyone in every iteration to label the variables, di ba, that you put in your table. Okay? I-label nyo kung ano yung basic, ano yung non-basic para alam niyo na nasa-satisfy nyo ba yung requirement ng simplex tableau o hindi. Kasi kapag alam mo kung ano yung mga basic variables, alam mo agad by looking at the first row of the tableau na dapat yung mga basic variables na yun, doon sa first row, 0 dapat ang coefficient nun. Tapos sa constraints, yung mga next rows ng table, dapat they should form an identity matrix, di ba? That's the second requirement. And then pag tinignan mo yung solution column, dapat makikita mo at mababasa mo yung mga values ng z at saka ng mga basic variables doon. Okay? And that's the reason why I asked you to label. Diba? Pinapalabel ko sa inyo kung ano yung mga basic and non-basic. So similarly, sa revised simplex, we will also approach the methodology or the solution in the same manner. We will still divide the set of variables into subsets, no, or submatrices called XB and XN. So since I have two types of variables in every iteration, basic and non-basic, I will now label X sub B as basic variable set and X sub N as the non-basic variable vector or set. Okay, and from this one, this will now trigger everything else. If I have two sets of variables XB and XN, then I will now have two sets of objective function coefficient. One set or one vector, subvector for the basic variables, which I will call C sub B, and one subvector for the non-basic variables, which I will call C sub N. Again, C is the objective function coefficient. Okay, and finally, in the constraints, your constraint coefficients can also be neatly divided into two sets of coefficients or two sub-matrices. One sub-matrix is called B, and that B represents the coefficients, constraint coefficients of the non-basic variables. Sorry, of the basic variables, where A and N is the constraint coefficients of the non-basic variables in that current iteration. So remember, class, itong basic and non-basic changes in every iteration. Yung mix niyan, yung mix of basic and non-basic variables change in every iteration. Changes in every iteration. And therefore, as the mix of basic and non-basic variables change in every iteration, C, CB and CN, B and N will also change along with it. Siyempre, kapag iba na yung set of basic mo, iba na rin yung objective function ng mga basic, iba na rin yung constraint coefficient ng mga basic mo for that particular iteration. Okay? So before I proceed, the mindset should be that of the procedure of simplex, yung ginagawa ninyo in the past several meetings. Okay? Susundin lang natin yung procedure natin doon sa simplex tableau in order to derive the procedure for the revised simplex method. Okay? So later on, when we go to the iterations, the procedure for the iterations, you will see that we can actually derive the revised simplex iterations from the simplex iterations that we did before. And vice versa. We can actually derive the simplex iteration from the revised simplex iteration. They are closely related because we are following the same procedure. Okay, so let's focus now on the right side of our screen. Okay, the right side of our screen. We have this in braces, no? Yung original in bracket, our original model. Okay, now let us focus first on our constraints. Ax is equal to b. So, okay. So here we see that since A, okay, since matrix A is divided into two, okay, yung constraint coefficients is divided into B and N, therefore, we can expand this matrix representation of the standard form of the constraints this way. Okay? Since yung x ko, itong x, nahati sa xb and xn, at yung a, nahati sa b and n, syempre, ang i-multiply ko sa xb, which is the basic variables in the iteration, should be the coefficient, the constraint coefficient of the basic variables. Kaya b times xb. Okay? And then, syempre, since this whole system, AX, consists of basic and non-basic, I have to add yung n times xn. Then, equate it to b. Okay, stop muna tayo dito. Okay, stop muna tayo dito. This is now the expanded constraint equations of your LP model. Okay, using matrices. Okay, so alam naman natin na yung constraint natin sa LP model could be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 constraints, di ba? But all of those constraints are captured by this equation in matrix form. Okay, kahit ilan pa sila, nakaka-capture na sila nitong constraint na to. Now, if you recall, simplex tableau requirement number 2, dapat lahat ng basic variables sa constraints, yung coefficients ng mga basic variables sa constraints, should form an identity matrix. Okay? That's simplex tableau requirement number 2. So therefore, kung dapat ang coefficient nitong mga basic variables na to, dapat identity, dapat itong B na to should be converted into an identity matrix. Yan yung ginagawa natin sa simplex, no, sa Gauss-Jordan. Kaya natin ginagawang 1, yung pivot element, tapos yung above and below it, sinizero natin doon sa procedure para magawa nating identity matrix yung coefficients ng basic variable in the tableau. So to make this become an identity or an identity matrix, then XB has to be multiplied by I. To do that, I would have to multiply this whole constraint equation in matrix form by the inverse of B. Okay, by the inverse of B, so that if I multiply B times B inverse or B by its inverse, then we will be able to get this identity here. Okay, so again, every step, if you look here, every step that you see in the derivation or in the concept has an explanation or has a reason. The reason why we expanded this is so that this one to this one is so that we can separate the basic and the non-basic variables, which we do in every iteration of the simplex, the one that we did many meetings ago, no? In the previous meetings. So now, after separating them, we have to ensure that the coefficient of the basic variables should be identity. So in order to achieve that, we have to multiply this whole equation by B inverse so that B inverse times B becomes an identity matrix. And then we just distribute B inverse n times xn, then equal to B inverse times small b. Okay, this becomes our equation number 1 here, as seen on the left side of your screen and also on the right side of your screen. Okay, so therefore, after having this, we are now assured that we have satisfied the simplex tableau requirement where the basic variables have an identity matrix as their coefficient in the constraints. Okay? So okay na tayo dito sa 1. So now, tapos na tayo dito sa constraint. Now let's go back to the objective function. Okay? So objective function naman tayo. Z is equal to C times X. So just like what we did in the constraint, C, since X is divided into XB and XN, C can also be divided to CB and CN, such that if I expand it, this is the resulting equation. CB times XB plus CN times XN. Okay? And now, by the way, take note that for revised simplex in this derivation, I did not yet transpose the CX into the left side for the standard form. I retained it as it is because we need the original objective function coefficients of the variables. Okay, kaya CB times XB plus CN times XN yan. Okay, next. Simplex tableau requirement number 1. Sabi doon, in the objective function, okay, row, in the objective function row of the simplex tableau, dapat lahat ng mga basic variables must have a 0 coefficient. Okay, that's tableau requirement number 1. 0 dapat. 0 coefficient means that XB should not exist at all in your objective function equation. Dapat wala ito. Okay? Dapat wala yan. It should not exist. So therefore, just like what we've been doing in Big M and two-phase method, in order to eliminate the coefficients of XB or basic variables in the objective function row, all we have to do is to solve for XB in terms of XN. In other words, i-express natin yung XB in terms of non-basic variables in the model, which we can do now. Kasi makikita natin that the coefficients of XB in the constraints is now identity, meaning 1 times X yan, 1 times X, meaning we can actually transpose this to the other side and solve for XB, the basic variable, in terms of the non-basic variable. So kung naaalala ninyo yung ginagawa natin sa artificial variables, di ba? Yung R1, basic variable siya, may coefficient siya sa objective function. Ang ginagawa natin, pupunta tayo sa constraint. We look for the constraint with R1, and then we solve for R1. R1 is equal to 2x1 minus x2 plus s1. Ine-express natin siya in terms of the non-basic variables, and then we substitute that expression into the objective to remove xb or the basic variable, to remove R1 or the basic variable. So we will do the same thing. From equation number 1, we can actually solve for xb, and xb will be equal to b inverse b minus b inverse n times xn. Okay? So b inverse b, lipat to sa kabila, minus b inverse n times xn. So going back to this objective function, isa-substitute ko sa xb yung nakuha ko sa equation number 1. Okay? So follow. So sinubstitute ko na cb times itong b inverse b minus b inverse n times xn, nilipat ko dito. Then plus, tuloy lang natin, cn times xn. So take note, in this row, wala ka nang makikitang xb. Meaning, you have already satisfied the first simplex tableau requirement, which is all coefficients of basic variables in any iteration should be 0. Okay? Wala ka nang makikita. Ang coefficient na lang na makikita mo dito is that of xn. So now, what we will do is we will expand, distribute this, CBB inverse B minus CBB inverse N xn plus Cn times xn. So pag in-expand ko to, pag dinistribute ko yan, makikita ninyo yung xn, merong dalawang coefficient. I can factor out xn. Okay, mapa-factor out ko to. I hope you follow. The first coefficient would be C minus CB, B inverse N minus CN. The second one will be Cn. So therefore, pag pinactor out ko yung Xn, ang magiging coefficient ng Xn would be positive Cn minus CB, B inverse N. Yun yung coefficient ng Xn. So narito tayo sa next step. Distribute Z is equal to CB times B inverse B plus, okay, plus Cn minus CB, B inverse N quantity factor out Xn. Okay? So now, in standard form, we know that all variables must be on the left side of the equation and all constants on the right side. So as you can see, CB is a coefficient. B is also coefficients of basic variables in the constraints. Small b is the right-hand side of the LP model. So the product of CP, B inverse B times B is just a constant. Okay? It's just a constant. So this is retained on the right side of the equation. This one, however, is a variable, di ba? Coefficient ito ng variable Xn. Okay? So therefore, I have to transpose this to the left side. Kaya, mangyayari, pag tinranspose ko yan, magiging, etong minus na to, magiging plus. Etong plus na to dito, magiging minus. Kaya, ginawa na lang natin is, etong minus magiging plus, naging Z plus CB, B inverse N, minus, ito, pag nilipat sa kabila, minus Cn. Kaya, ito yung next equation. CB, Z plus CB, B inverse N, minus Cn times Xn. Okay? Equal to CB, B inverse B. This will be equation number 2. Class, any questions with what we did to derive equations 1 and 2? Any questions, class? Okay, thank you for those responses. Okay, so again, there is a reason for everything that we do. Okay, there's a reason why we multiplied B inverse. Ang purpose is para maging identity matrix yung basic variables sa constraints. There's a reason why we substitute, why we solve for XB here in terms of Xn and substituted it here in our objective function equation. The purpose is so that we eliminate XB, okay? We eliminate XB from the objective function so that its coefficient will become 0. Mawala siya. Kaya the Z is now in terms of Xn na lang. Okay, Xn na lang lahat yan. So simplifying, okay, this matrix, we will be able to obtain equation number 2 where the left side of your Z equation, okay, consists only of coefficients of the non-basic variables, wala ng basic, and then the right side would now be your Z value. Okay, so we proceed. Okay, we proceed. After getting equation 1 and 2, we know that we have already derived the simplex tableau. Kung mapapansin ninyo, yung first equation, okay, itong first equation na to, already gives us, okay, already gives us our constraint coefficients of the tableau. So, makikita natin, okay, makikita natin na we have the identity matrix and then we have B inverse N. Okay, very important. Okay, very important ito. Let me this. Okay. This one is very important. Because this one represents the numerical constraint coefficients of the non-basic variables in any iteration. Okay, so meron ka ng, sa tableau mo, meron ka na ngayong constraint coefficients. Sa equation 2 naman, meron ka ng objective function coefficients doon sa zero mo. Alam naman natin yung mga basic variables, zero yan, yung coefficient. So, ang kailangan mo na lang talaga is yung mga objective function coefficients ng mga non-basic variables. At eto na yun. Okay? Ang kulang na lang natin is yung solution column ng tableau. Alam naman natin yung solution column would be the value of xb. Kaya, since in any iteration, xn, non-basic variables, the value of xn is 0 in any iteration. Here, in any iteration, the value of xn is 0. Then, we know that the value of xp is b inverse b. So, that gives rise to this one. Ito na yung solution column mo for the basic variables. xb is equal to b inverse times small b. Okay? And then, for this equation, equation number 2, you will see that if xn is 0, then that eliminates everything on the left side. Ang matitira na lang sa z is that it is equal to cb times b inverse times b. Ito. Okay? You will see that z is equal to cp times b inverse times b. Right? Let me just put this closer. Okay, so therefore, since we know from this one that xp is b inverse b here, then therefore, z is reduced to cb b inverse b, or z is equal to cb times xb. So now, with these 4 equations, okay, this will be your equation 3. And this will be your equation 4, actually. With these 4 equations, we are now able to fill out completely the simplex tableau in any iteration. Naka-matrix form lang. Pero, pag na-compute mo tong mga matrices na to, itong b inverse n, cb, b inverse n minus cn, itong xb, bilugan natin ulit. Ito. At saka ito. Pag na-compute nyo yan, yung 4 na nakabilog na yan in red, ma-fill out nyo na yung corresponding simplex tableau iteration. So what am I saying here? Although we are trying to convert the original LP model into its matrix form, okay, by multiplying and applying these 4 matrices, itong 4 na nakabilog na yan, you can actually derive the contents of the simplex tableau iteration. So, ma-derive nyo, vice versa yan. If I give you the simplex tableau iteration, dapat ma-derive niyo yung corresponding revised simplex iteration. And vice versa, if I give you the revised simplex iteration, using this encircled in red, no, na mga equations, you should be able to derive also the simplex tableau iteration. Magbaliktaran. Okay? So later on, I'll show you how it's done. But for now, okay, for me to be able to do that, let us work on this example. Okay? So tapos na tayo dito. Okay. Very important to class, ha? Itong slide na to. Please always remember that B inverse N represents the coefficients of the non-basic variables. Okay? Kanina sinabi ko sa inyo at some point, tingnan nyo to, ha? Coefficients of the non-basic variables in the constraints. Tingnan nyo to. Baka kasi malito kayo. Tingnan nyo to. Coefficient of the non-basic variables in the constraints. Okay? Constraint coefficients of non-basic variables. Pero may word na current. Okay? So, again, since in the tableau, na kung naalala ninyo, ito original ito. Original constraint coefficients yung capital N. Pero dito, itong B inverse N na to, ito na yung na-subject to Gauss-Jordan. Ito na yung na-subject to elimination by addition. Okay, remember, from one iteration to the next, di ba? Kino-convert natin into an identity matrix. Ginagawa natin 1, yung pivot element. Tapos, sini-zero natin yung above and below the pivot element. So, in the process of that conversion to an identity matrix, okay, ang nangyayari, yung mga ibang coefficients, nako-convert din. Kaya, yung equations natin sa constraints, nako-convert din from its original form to the form in the current iteration. Kaya yung form na yon is represented by B inverse N. So as you continue to manipulate and as you continue to iterate using Gauss-Jordan, B inverse N represents the coefficients of the non-basic variables in the constraints in that particular iteration. Okay? So similarly, ganun din yung CBB inverse N minus Cn. Okay? Kanina, sabi natin, ang coefficients ng mga non-basic variables sa constraint, sa objective function is Cn. Pero habang nag-iterate tayo at nag-Gauss-Jordan manipulation tayo, nako-convert yung coefficient at ito yung kinalalabasan. Nagiging CBB inverse N minus Cn yung objective function coefficient ng mga non-basic variables sa objective function. Okay? So these two are very important. Okay? The revised simplex will follow a procedure at babalikan natin itong dalawang ito. Okay? Sige. So let's work on an LP model that we solved using simplex tableau in our very first solution using simplex. Ito yung unang model, yung lahat ng constraint less than or equal to. Okay? Kasi sabi natin, convenient to find a starting solution. So we already have the simplex iterations in one of my recorded lectures for the EC2 class, which I sent to you through Canvas, yung link. I hope that you have already listened to that recorded lecture. We solved this problem there in that lecture, no? And it came up to 3 iterations before finding the optimal solution. So 3 iterations. So ngayon gusto natin i-compare yung solution natin noon, yung 3 iterations na yun, with the iterations that we will get for the revised simplex procedure today. Same steps. As I said, this is still revised simplex is still simplex. So the steps are all the same. Okay? Madadagdag lang itong step na to. Yeah. Itong step na to. This becomes step 3 kasi. Okay, step 3. Yung step 3 kasi ng simplex dati is transferring the coefficients of the standard form to the simplex tableau. So instead of that, instead of tableau, we set up matrices. Okay, we set up matrices. Kaya ito yung magiging step 3. So anyway, this is the model. Step 1 is to get the standard form of this model, which we will have here. Here. Ito na yung standard form. Right? This one. This is the standard form of the constraints. Okay. As you can see, since I have 3 less than or equal to constraints here, tatlong less than or equal to constraints, I would have to add 3 slack variables here, okay, into the model, into the standard form. And hence, it leads me to step 2, okay, where I have x1, x2, s1, s2, s3 as my variables in the system, 5 variables, then 3 equations or 3 constraints. The excess variables would be 5 minus 3, that's 2. Same step, no? Those 2 have to be assumed 0 in order for us to have a basic solution. And then once you assume those 2 to 0, okay, look at the left side, standard form. Okay, tingnan nyo to. Pag 0 na itong x1 and x2, 0 yan, we can now solve for s1, s2, and s3 to be 20, 12, and 20. Kaya, our initial basic solution will be as follows. Wherein, The non-basic variables would be x1, x2, and the basic variables would be s1, s2, and s3. Step 1 and step 2 so far conforms with the simplex procedure we had in the previous sessions. Okay? Next, step 3, dapat sa step 3, tina-transfer ko na itong standard form na to into the Tableau. I will now set up the Tableau, yung basis, x1, x2, s1, s2, s3, and then solution, and then z, s1, s2, s3. Dapat siya-set up ko na yung Tableau. Okay? Pero now, instead of the Tableau, we will now set up what we call the original matrices. At ito yon. Yan, ito yon. Okay? Yan yung step 3 natin. 4 yung original matrices natin. So isusulat lang natin. Okay? Based on this problem that we have, we will now set up our X, matrix X. And since we have 5 variables, we just have to write down the 5 variables in sequence as you see them in the LP model standard form. So unang mag-appear dyan yung x1, x2, then s1 for the first constraint, s2 for the second, and s3 for the third constraint. So you'll have 5 variables in your variable vector. Next, you have to identify your C. Okay, yung C. So ano ngayon yung ito ngayon magda-drive, no? X will drive all the other matrices and vectors. What is now the objective function coefficient original of x1, x2, s1, s2, s3? So you look at your standard form. So balik na tayo, balik na tayo dito. Okay? So you will see that the coefficient, objective function coefficient of x1 is 4, x2 is 5. Kaya makikita natin kung ano yung order ng variables natin sa variable vector, that should be the same order here in your objective function coefficient vector. Same order dapat. Okay? And then, itong coefficients, you get it from the standard form. Untranspose yung objective function. Take note, untranspose. Kasi you want the objective function coefficient. Pag tinranspose mo yan, magiging negative 4, hindi yan yung original objective function coefficient nung variable. Kaya hindi natin tinatranspose muna. Okay? We leave it as it is. So therefore, the coefficient is 4 and 5 for x1 and x2. And since you don't see s1, s2, s3 in the objective function original, then 0 sila. Okay? Next, we need to identify matrix A. Matrix A would now collect all of the constraint coefficients of all your variables. Okay? So therefore, I will now set up matrix A. Okay? It's a 3 by 5 kasi tatlo yung constraints, 5 yung variables. So 3 by 5 matrix. So all you have to do is get the standard form of the constraints and transfer the coefficients to this matrix. Instead of transferring to the Tableau, you transfer it to a matrix. Yun lang yung pagkakaiba. Okay, kaya 1, 1, 2, you will see, ito yun, 1, 1, 2. And then second column would be 2, 1, 1, kaya 2, 1, 1 ito. And then your S1 is 1. Wala namang S1 sa second and third equations, kaya 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. So ito ngayon yung matrix A. And then finally, your right-hand side will be your vector B. So ito yon, B, kopya lang yung right-hand side, 20, 12, and 20. So as you can see, instead of transferring the coefficients of this standard form here to the Tableau, we simply transferred the coefficients to matrices, which we call C, A, and B. Okay, and the order of these coefficients would now be dictated by the order of the variables in X. Okay, I'll stop here, step 3. Any questions before we go to step 4, which is the iterations now? Any questions, class? Okay, so far some students are saying walang question, naintindihan. Okay. Let's proceed. If you have questions, please raise your hand. Okay. Okay, let's proceed. Step 4. Okay, so step 4, we now begin our iterations. Okay? So, sa iterations natin, tulad ng sabi ko kanina, ang lagi natin babalikan, regardless of whether nasa iteration 1, 2, 3, 4 tayo, kahit nasa iteration tayo, step 3 yung babalikan natin. Okay, laging step 3. Okay? So now, in your iterations, you would now have to split up yung original matrices ninyo into basic and non-basic. So itong X, gagawin yung XB, XN. Itong C, gagawin yung CB, CN. Itong A, gagawin yung B and N. That's the first thing that you do in every iteration. Split it up. Okay? So ngayon, ang basis natin ng pag-split up, of course, would be step 2. Kasi nandyan, yan yung nagsasabi kung ano yung basic, ano yung non-basic variable. Okay? So, therefore, if I look at this original matrix, I can split it up. X1, X2, yung XN ko. Non-basic yan eh. And then S1, S2, S3, yan yung XB. Yan yung basic. So, that is exactly what we will do. Okay. Here, so I will split up X into 2 sub-vectors. I call it XB and XN, just like what I discussed earlier. And then I will put under XB lahat ng variables na basic sa iteration na to. Since sa iteration na to, first iteration, manggagaling yung basic and non-basic sa initial solution ko. Then basic is S1, S2, S3. Non-basic is X1 and X2. And then everything else follows. Yung C, if we split up ko yan to CB and CN. Okay, CB and CN. So therefore, yung CB, dapat coefficient yan ng S1, S2, S3 sa objective. Since ito na yung coefficient original ng objective eh. S1, S2, S3, 0 yung coefficient. So CB will be 0. Okay, ito yon. CB and CN, pag in-split up ko, yung S1, S2, S3, which is this, ang coefficient niya dito is puro 0. Tapos yung CN, since X1, X2 yung non-basic variables ko, ang coefficient ng X1, X2 sa original matrix na C or vector na C is 4 and 5. Okay? So CB and CN would be dictated by XB and XN, siyempre. And then B and N, when I split up itong A into B and N, hahatiin ko ito ngayon. Itong first 2 columns would be your N. Kasi yan yung constraint coefficients ng X1 and X2, which are non-basic variables at the moment. Diba? Non-basic variables siya. So ito yung N. Tapos itong S1, S2, S3 na coefficient, ito ngayon yung B. Kaya, this is what we will have. Okay? So, notice that after I do XB and XN, for CBCN, B and N, I always label, okay, kung ano yung ano yung basic variables, ano yung non-basic variables in the same order as XB and XN. I always write it down so that I know which column and which variable and which coefficients are there in each column. Okay, so as you can see, B was just obtained from here. And N, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1 was just obtained from the original matrix A. Kaya kung nagkamali kayo ng paglipat ng coefficient sa A, problema yan. Kasi magkakamali kayo in one of these. Okay? So for every iteration in revised simplex, ang gagawin nyo, babalikan nyo to, ng original, tapos aalamin nyo lang kung ano yung XB at saka XN nyo sa iteration na yon. Ano yung basic and non-basic variables. And from there, you derive CB and CN based on the original C, and then you derive B and N based on the original A. Okay? And once you have that, it's a procedure na kung anong gagawin nyo next. Sa ngayon, after doing this submatrices and subvectors, you already have a portion of your simplex tableau. Ang kulang nyo na lang is yung solution column ng tableau. Kasi meron na kayong identity matrix sa constraints, meron na kayong coefficients ng mga non-basic variables. Sa objective function row, meron na kayong coefficient 4 and 5. Actually, magiging negative 4 and 5 and later on, meron na kayo neto. Ang kulang nyo na lang is yung solution column. And the solution column, as I've said earlier, is obtained by equation 3 and 4 here. This 3, this 1, and this 1. Kaya isosolve natin ngayon yung xb at saka yung z sa bawat iteration. So that will follow. Okay, so after getting this 6, ang next is xb. So solve natin yung xb. Kasi hindi na ako magsusulat ha. If you want the recorded lecture na nagsusulat ako line by line, no, para mas naintindihan, ginawa ko yon kanina sa morning class. So I'll send you the link na rin for that recorded lecture. So this time, since nasulat ko na to kanina, hindi ko na ulitin. I'll just explain na lang. So after getting the 6 sub-matrices and sub-vectors, next is, kasi kailangan natin ma-derive yung complete simplex tableau using matrices. So ang kulang na lang natin is yung solution column, which is xb and z. So start tayo sa xb. Using the formula in equation 3 above, okay, xb is b inverse times small b. So since b is an identity matrix, the inverse of an identity matrix is itself, di ba? Is identity pa rin. Kaya b inverse times b is still an identity matrix, yung b inverse, and then kopyahin nyo lang yung b, as I've said, from the step 3, from the original equations, 20, 12, and 20. So ito yun. So a vector or a matrix multiplied by an identity will always give you the same vector or same matrix. Kaya identity times 12, 20, 12, 20 is 20, 12, 20 pa rin. So ano tong 20, 12, 20 na to? Okay? This represents the values of your basic variables. Kaya xb basic variables in this iteration. Pero ano ba yung basic variables natin sa iteration 1? Ito yun. Akit tayo dito. Tatlo yung basic variables ko, S1, S2, and S3. Kaya, tatlo rin tong values na nakikita nyo sa B inverse B, 20, 12, and 20. Each value corresponding to one basic variable which you can get and which you should get from XB here. Okay? Kung ano yung order ng XB mo dito, yun yun. Okay? So now you have the solution column value of the basic variables. Next is to get the solution column value of your Z. Okay? Ano ba yung Z value natin sa iteration na to? Since the formula for Z is CB times XB and CB is 0, 0, 0, which is this one, XB is this, which is 20, 12, and 20, then 0 times that is equal to 0. So this is telling us now that in iteration 1, our Z value is 0, and the values of our basic variables are 20, 12, and 20. Okay, so basically, at this point, okay, itong naka-flash sa screen ngayon. At this point, I have my simplex tableau, complete simplex tableau for iteration 1 already. I hope nakikita nyo, naka-matrix siya. Naka-matrix siya ngayon, pero yung mga numbers na to, itong number na to, itong 0 na to, let me shade that. Okay. Ito na yung solution column ng tableau. Okay. Tapos, itong later on, no, we will compute for B inverse and CB, B inverse N minus Cn. That would give us the complete tableau contents pala. So we have to solve. Ang nakuha pa lang natin ngayon is the solution column. Okay. Next step after getting X, B, and Z is to find out whether this iteration is already optimal or not. Okay. Optimal na ba to o hindi? Actually, at this point, meron na naman tayong objective function coefficient. Ito yun. Okay. Ito yung mga yun. Except that ito hindi pa naka-standard form, no? Pero ito na yun. And then we will now find out whether optimal na to or hindi. So to find out whether optimal or not, this is where this one is very important. Okay? Kasi if you recall in your simplex Tableau iterations, okay, simplex Tableau iterations, for you to determine whether an iteration is optimal or not, all you have to do is go to the first row, the Z row. And then all you have to do is look at the coefficients of the non-basic variables. Ito yun. Ito yung tinitingnan natin, CBB inverse N minus Cn actually. Tapos kapag maximization at may negative pa, hindi pa optimal. Pag minimization naman at may positive pa, hindi pa rin optimal. Okay, so that's the optimality criteria. We look at the objective function coefficient in the zero, okay, of the non-basic variables. So in matrices, yung matrix counterpart, ang kailangan nating tignan at i-compute is this one, CBB inverse N minus Cn. So the next step after the sub-matrices, okay, and then after computing x, b, and z is to compute b inverse times n. Ito muna. Itong b inverse times n muna. Let's compute this. Okay, kasi importante ito later on sa pagkuha ng ratio ng leading variable. So after computing b inverse n, the next step is to compute CB b inverse n minus Cn. Kaya ito yung procedure. Compute b inverse n. Okay? Sunod-sunod to ha. So if you are going to solve an LP model using the bisymplex, you have to follow exactly what I'm doing here. Sub-matrices, compute for XB, compute for Z, then compute for B inverse times N. Okay, so B inverse, alam na natin, is identity. N, okay, N, alam natin, ito yon, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1. B inverse times N would therefore be this, the same, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1. And I put a label, okay, because remember, B inverse N represents the coefficients of the non-basic variables in the constraints. Okay? Coefficient ito ng non-basic variables sa constraint. Since I have two non-basic variables, x1 and x2, then, ibig sabihin, ito yung mga coefficients ng x1 sa constraint. Tatlo yung constraint ko eh. Ito yung mga coefficient niya sa bawat constraint. Si x2 naman, ito yung coefficient niya sa bawat isa sa tatlong constraints doon sa LP model. Okay, important to label it. Later you see why it's important to label it. But right now, label the columns according to this one. Okay, x1 and x2. Okay, so after computing B inverse N, which is this one, you now proceed to compute this one, CB B inverse N minus Cn. Okay, so copy lang. Since you have B inverse N already, you just copy CB, which is this, tatlong zero. Copy that here, CB, and then copy this B inverse N, lipat dito, so CB times B inverse N minus Cn. Ito na yung ginagawa nating standard form yung objective function. Kasi ang original objective function coefficients is 4 and 5. Pag nilipat mo yan sa kabila, ito na yun. Ito na yung nilipat natin kaya nagma-minus na tayo, 4 and 5. So, by copying this one, this is CB, this is B inverse N, and minus Cn, you can now see that this is 1 by 3 and this is 3 by 2. So you will now produce a 1 by 2 null vector. Puro 0 lang yan. 1 by 2. So 0, 0 minus 4, 5 will give you negative 4 and negative 5. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Again, from after computing XB, compute Z. After computing Z, compute B inverse N. Label the columns of B inverse N according to the non-basic variables in the iteration. And then proceed to calculate CB B inverse N minus Cn. Copy. And then compute CBB inverse N minus Cn. That will give you negative 4 and negative 5. So that's it. After you compute CBB inverse N minus Cn, which is this, tapos na yung iteration mo. Now it's time for you to check if the iteration is optimal or not. Okay. Take note, after I calculated CBB inverse N minus Cn, I did the same thing. I labeled each column. by the non-basic variables in this iteration, which are x1 and x2. Okay, maximization problem. You see that the coefficients are both negative. You know that this iteration is not yet optimal. Okay, alam natin this is not yet optimal. So therefore, this one, you get this as your entering variable. Remember our rule? You choose the most negative. You choose the most negative as your entering variable. So we have this. Entering variable is equal to x2. What's next, class? Alam natin, the iteration ends here at CBB inverse n minus Cn. But if it's not yet optimal, you have to continue iterating. So now, we see that entering variable is x2. Dati, class, nung nasa tableau tayo, tapos nakita nyo na -4, -5, you choose the most negative. What do you do? What do you do pag napili nyo na? Hina-highlight nyo yung column, tama? Yung buong column nung variable na napili nyo. You recall?
Yes, sir.
Diba? You highlight the whole column, correct? And we call that the pivot column, kung naalala ninyo. That's the entering variable column. Okay? So ano ngayon yung column na yon? So kung mapapansin ninyo, the entering variable here is the second column in your matrix or in your vector. Second column siya. So ibig sabihin, nasa second column din siya ng tableau, simplex tableau. So since this is the x2 column, that whole column is now represented by this. Ito naman yung elements doon sa constraints. X2 column din yan. Kaya pinapalabel ko sa inyo. Okay? So x1, x2 to, x1, x2 to. So kung napili niyo yung x2 as entering variable, yung column, yung buong pivot column would include the 0, which is this, the 0, okay, which is this, and ano ba yun? And this one. Diba? The whole column for x2, which you will find in B inverse n. So ito yung buong pivot column mo. Okay, ito sa objective, ito yung sa constraint. Yan yung pivot column mo. So from this pivot column, you will now get the ratio. Tama? Kailangan nyo nang kunin yung leading variable. Paano nyo ginagawa yung ratio? Ano yung numerator at ano yung denominator class? For the ratio, in order to select the leading variable. Dash, paano nyo kinocompute yung ratio sa procedure?
The solution column divided by the pivot column.
The solution column divided by the pivot column. Tama? Yun yung formula. Saan ko makikita dito sa iteration sa revised simplex yung solution column? Saan dyan yung solution column? XB. Okay? XB. The solution column is your XB. Tama. Yan yung solution column. Sa solution column kasi, dalawa yan. Yung first row mo sa solution column is your Z. And then the succeeding rows would be your XB. Kaya yung Z, yung pinakataas, makikita nyo, 0 yan sa simplex tableau. Yung sa solution column, the first entry will be 0 kasi yan yung Z value. Okay? Tapos, yung sumunod sa constraint rows, XB yun. Yan yung solution column. Kaya, when you get the ratio, it is actually the ratio, the numerator would be your B inverse B, and the denominator would be your B inverse N, pero second column ang denominator. Kaya yung formula, if you follow, would be this. to get the ratio for the leading variable, you get the ratio between B inverse P, which is XP. Okay? And then, that's your numerator. And your denominator will be obtained always from your B inverse N. Kaya ko pinapakompute yan in every iteration. Kasi kukunin nyo dyan yung denominator for the ratio. Okay? B inverse N. But B inverse N could have several columns. Pipili ka lang ngayon ng isang column. Column J lang. Okay? Itong column J lang ang pipiliin niyo. And ano ba itong column J na to sa B inverse N? That is the column of your entering variable. Kaya, if you look back here, the entering variable is x2 and it is the second column. So therefore, kung ano yung column ng entering variable, yan din yung column ng B inverse N na kukunin nyo to become denominator for the ratio. I hope that's clear. Okay? So dalawa lang ang pagkukuhanan nyo. The first is XB for the numerator. Tatlo yan, 20, 12, and 20. And then the denominator will be 2, 1, and 1 coming from B inverse N, second column, because the entering variable is in the second column. Okay? So therefore, following that formula, kopyan nyo na lang yung numerator, 20, 12, 20, and your B inverse N, the second column is 2, 1, 1. Calculate the ratio, 10, 12, and 20. You will see that in your simplex iteration. And then choose the minimum ratio so that the next iteration will not be invisible. So, nung pinili ko to, it's the first column or the first variable that becomes the leading variable. So, as I mentioned before, from the basic variable, there would be one leading variable, and from the non-basic, there would be one to be entering variable. We have already selected x2 as our entering variable. Okay. Now, we have selected the first variable here, to be the leading variable. And that variable is S1. Paano ko nalamang S1 yon? Kasi ang leading variable, pipiliin ko yan dito. Isa dyan sa tatlong yan. Since yung first yung napili ko doon sa ratio, minimum ratio, ito yung leading variable ko ngayon. Okay? And these two will exchange places when you go to the next iteration. Magpapalit sila ng pwesto. So in iteration 2, makikita natin ang basic ko na ngayon sa iteration 2 will be x2, s2, and s3. Okay? Tapos ang non-basic ko will be x1 and s1. They will now change places. Is that clear, class? Is that clear, class? Okay, so sige, may nag-guess na. So therefore, after getting the entering variable from the CBP inverse N minus Cn here, nakuha yung entering. Pag nakuha na yung ratio at nakuha na yung leading variable, okay, we can now proceed to iteration 2. And as I've said, the most important step, the transition from iteration 1 to 2, okay, is to identify correctly the new set of basic and non-basic variables. So as I've said, mag-switch places lang itong dalawa. So you have to record it correspondingly. Magiging x2, s2, s3 here. Magiging x2, let me erase this first. Okay, let me erase this. Okay, so therefore, sa iteration 2, matatanggal niyo yung S1, mapapalitan ng X2. Dito naman, yung X2, mapapalitan ng S1. So nag-swap lang silang dalawa. So from here, everything is procedure. So kung naalala niyo yung steps kanina, after XB, XN, CBCN. Okay? And dito kayo babalik. Yan. Diyan kayo babalik sa step 3. Okay? So, CB. Kailangan kunin nyo ngayon yung CB, kukunin nyo dito. But you should know that this one, ang order nito is X1, X2, S1, S2, and S3. Okay? So, therefore, if I need X2 for my CB, 5 yon. Ito yon. X2, S2, and S3. 500. So, my CB will now be 500. That's X2, S2, and S3. And then my Xn is X1, S1. So my Cn is the coefficient of X1, which is 4, and S1, which is 0. Kaya 4, 0 ito, X1, S1. Okay? Similarly, for your matrix A, isi-split mo ngayon yan into B and N. Okay? So, therefore, since ang basic variables ko is X2, S2, and S3. Ito yun, checkan ko X2, S2, and S3. Then, yung tatlong columns na yan ang makikita nyo sa matrix B. Okay, so matrix B would therefore be, ayan, 2, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, itong tatlo. And then yung walang check, itong dalawang naka-X, yan yung N. 1, 1, 2, at saka 1, 0, 0. Yan yung matrix N. So everything becomes procedural. Ang nagbago lang talaga is this. And once you have this, all the rest are now derived from the step 3, from the original matrices. Dito sa step 3 na to. Okay? So, as I've said, after the sub-matrices, ang kailangan nyo i-compute is XB, tapos Z, tapos B inverse N, tapos CB B inverse N minus Cn. Yung apat na yun, kailangan nyo i-compute yun. So let's start with XB. Okay? XB. So XB is B inverse times small b. Okay? B inverse times small b. Since B this time is no longer identity, then kailangan niyo i-review yung inverse of a matrix sa Indomat. There are many formulas, many ways to get the inverse of a matrix. You can do it by getting the adjoint divided by the determinant of A, or you can do it by using Gauss-Jordan manipulation to get the identity matrix. So whatever method is up to you, but you have to recall the manual method of getting the inverse. Okay, we need that for quiz 2. I will not discuss it here. So this matrix B, if you apply the methods to get the inverse, you will get this. Ito yung inverse ng matrix B. Okay? Then you multiply that by the original small b, kasi B inverse times B eh. Okay, times B. So that is on the left side, no? 20, 12, 20, you will get 10, 2, and 10. So as I've said, this one represents your solution column. Okay, solution column. And it corresponds to the value of the three basic variables X2, S2, and S3. Kaya, ang 10 mo dyan is the value of X2 in iteration 2. Tapos yung 2 is the value of S2 in iteration 2. And then itong 10 is the value of S3 in iteration 2. Ito yun, X2, S2, S3. Next, calculate Z. So calculating Z, you'll have CB times XB. Okay, equal to, okay, so alam na natin itong formula na to, no, from equation 4 kanina, yung dinerive natin. So CB again, meron na tayong CB, 500, kopya lang. XB, nakuha na natin dito, 10, 2, 10, kopya lang. You will now see that the value of Z is now 50. Sa iteration 1, the value of Z was 0. Now, you have improved to 50 because you're maximizing. So after computing XB and Z, the next step is to compute B inverse times N. So, ito na yun. Since may B inverse na tayo dito, kopya lang. Tapos yung N, naririto na, kopya rin lang. Okay? Multiply the matrices. Dapat alam niyo na, row times column, row times column. Okay? You will get this. So again, as I told you, when you get B inverse N, label the columns. Punta lang kayo sa XN. XN. Okay? Kasi B inverse n is the constraint coefficients of non-basic variables. So punta kayo sa xn, the order is x1, s1. So therefore, the first column is x1, the second column is s1. Label them. So once you get B inverse n, tuloy-tuloy lang, get CB times B inverse n. So ito yung CB ulit, 500. Ito yun. Times B inverse n, kopya lang ito. Ito yung B inverse n, kopya lang. Minus Cn, yung Cn narito 4 and 0. Okay? So kopya lang. So after multiplying, this is 1 by 3, 3 by 2. Pakukuha nyo 1 by 2. Minus 1 by 2, you should get a 1 by 2 vector. Ito yun. So you will see that after matrix multiplication and subtraction, you will get CB inverse n minus Cn to be negative 3 halves and 5 halves. And just like what I've said, label it. X1 and S1 yung non-basic mo, so X1 and S1 yan. Since may negative pa, ito na yung last step ng iteration 2. Okay? Since may negative ka pa, hindi pa optimal yan. So this one becomes your entering variable. Okay? So entering variable is therefore X1. So to get the leading variable, alam na natin gagawin. We would have to get the solution column, which is ito, 10, 2, and 10. Ito yung numerator ng ratio. Okay? And then, the pivot column elements. Okay? Pivot column element would be this one. Take note, same rule. Kapag nakita ninyo na yung pivot column element ay 0 or negative, huwag nyo nang i-take yung ratio because it does not qualify. Only positive coefficients qualify. So therefore, copy nyo lang yung B inverse B, which is 10 to 10 sa numerator, and copy nyo ngayon itong, since first column itong entering variable natin, then dapat kunin natin yung first column din sa B inverse n to be our denominator. 1 half, 1 half, 1 half, 1 half, and 3 halves. So yan, makukuha nyo na yung ratio. Okay? Solution column over B inverse n, first column. Okay? Getting the ratio 24 and 20 over 3, you will see here that 4 is the minimum ratio. Okay, this is the minimum ratio corresponding to the second variable. Second variable siya ng mga leading to eh. So basic variables. So ano yung basic variables natin? Ito, second variable. Ito ngayon yung leading variable mo. Okay? Tapos yung entering variable mo kanina, yung first column yung first variable, so x1. Magsuswap mo yun ito. Going to the third iteration, magsuswap yan. Okay, so this is your entering, this is your leading. Okay? So, pag nag-swap yan, sa iteration 3, ang XB mo, X2, X1, and S3. Okay? Kaya, sa iteration 3, you will see X2, X1, and S3. Then, XN will be S2 and S1. Okay? So, as you can see here, this S2 will go here. So, S2 and S1. Tama. Okay. So, ulit lang, class. So, time 9, no? I'll send you the recorded lecture. Tinapos ko yun doon sa first class. No? Isang estudyante na lang natira pero tinapos ko. So anyway, you will see this as your new basic and non-basic variables no? After determining the entering and leaving of iteration 2. Hindi ko na, once I get the XB and XN, hindi ko na kailangan bumalik sa iteration 2 as I've said. Babalik ako ulit dito sa left side ng screen ko sa original matrices para ma-fill up ko yung CB at saka yung CN. Again, X2, the order is important. X2 muna, 5. Then X1 is 4. 5 muna, then 4. Then 0. Kaya 540 ito. And that's why I write it down para sigurado hindi magkamali. And then for CN, S2, S1 dapat. S2 muna. Pareho naman silang 0, so okay lang. 0, 0. Pero sa constraint coefficients, magmamatter. Okay? So ang order again is X2, X1, S3. Sa constraint, titingnan natin ito. X2, 2, 1, 1. Ito yon. X1, 1, 1, 2. Ito yon. S3 is 0, 0, 1. Ito yon. Now, sa non-basic variables, S2, S1, S2 muna. Kaya 0, 1, 0 muna bago yung 1, 0, 0. So once you have this, the rest is repeat. XB, compute natin yung B inverse nito. Okay, and again, if you review, this will be your B inverse. From here, magiging ito. Times the small b, which is this one, you will get 844. And these are the values of your basic variables, which is this. Okay, x2, x1, and x3. Kaya ito yon. x2 is 8, x1 is 4, s3 is 4. Okay, and then finally, you will have z equal to cb, which is 5, 4, and 0, times xb, which is 8, 4, and 4, which is this one. Okay. Okay, 8, 4, and 4. Multiply, you have 56. So our solution has now improved from 50 to 56. And then you do the next, b inverse n, multiply b inverse by your n here. Okay, copy na lang. You get this. Okay, and then label S2, S1. And then you get CB b inverse n minus Cn. Copy CB, copy b inverse n minus Cn, 0, 0. You'll get B1. So finally, you arrive at the optimal solution kasi wala nang negative. Okay? Then, optimal na yan. So optimal solution will be from XB and your Z in your last iteration. So XB is 488, as I've said. 844 actually, pero X1 is 4, X2 is 8, S3 is 4. And then make sure the non-basic variables are there. S1 and S2 are both 0, Z is 56. That's your optimal solution. So now, for those who can still stay, 5 minutes to show you the corresponding simplex iteration that we did in the previous recorded lecture. Okay, so anyway, this is the optimal solution. Your assignment is to do this. Last slide ng PowerPoint. Ito. Okay, assignment nyo is to do this. Pinublish ko na tong assignment as homework number 7 to be submitted on Wednesday. I don't know. I think this is the model that we solved yata. I don't know if this is the same model as we solved for the big M and two-phase. Pero you're asked to do this using revised simplex two-phase. So anyway, solve this using what you've learned today and then submit that next meeting. So I will stop share muna. Stop share. And then, wait lang let me just check how I can do this. Okay, I will have to remove this. Here. Okay, so for those who are staying behind, you will see that in iteration 1, okay, in iteration 1, here, in order, this is the simplex tableau for iteration 1, no? Yung last time na ginawa natin. Ayan ko lang. So as you can see, your CBB inverse N minus Cn. Oh, wait, I'm not sharing. Okay. All right, wait lang. Okay, so I hope you see that now. So on the left side of your screen, you see our revised simplex solution. Okay, ito yung iteration 1 on the left side of your screen. Okay, you will see this iteration 1. On the right side of your screen naman, okay, on the right side of your screen, you will see the simplex tableau iteration that we did many meetings ago. Actually, we did not do this. Kinig ko sa inyo itong recorded lecture na to. This was done sa EC2 class. Okay? So this is the iteration 1 tableau. So I just wanted you to see that every iteration in the revised simplex would enable you to derive the tableau contents and vice versa. So makikita din natin sa tableau na to, first iteration, itong -4, -5. Ano to? Ito actually yung CBB inverse n minus Cn. So if you look at the derivation here, the computation, ito yun. CBB inverse n minus Cn is -4, -5. Yan yung coefficient ng non-basic variable sa 0. Okay? Ito hindi na natin kailangan i-derive to kasi simplex tableau requirement to, 0 kailangan yan. So if you have this, you already know that x1 and x2, under x1 and x2, -4, -5. And then under S1, S2, S3, the basic variables, dapat 0 yan sa first row. And then itong solution column is your z value. Ito yung kinumpute natin dito, z. Okay? So I hope you see on the left side of your screen, naka-point ako, ito yung 0. Ito yun, sa right side. Okay? And then next, if you go to the constraint rows, makikita mo yung 1, 1, 2 at saka 2, 1, 1. So, itong 1, 1, 2 at saka 2, 1, 1, yan yung B inverse N. Okay? Ito yon. Sa left side, B inverse N, 1, 1, 2 at saka 2, 1, 1. Ito yon. Okay, yan yon. Ito hindi na natin kailangan mahanap yan sa revised simplex kasi alam na natin pag basic variables dapat identity matrix yan. Okay? Then itong 20, 12, 20, ito yon. Ito yung XB. 20, 12, 20. So ito yan. Kaya in every iteration, makikita natin na ma-derive natin yung simplex tableau from the revised simplex solution. And in the same way, kapag may simplex tableau ka, dapat alam mo na itong coefficients na to, CBB inverse N minus Cn. Itong coefficients na to, B inverse N. Ito, XB. Ito, Z. Dapat alam din natin yan. So, ma-derive din natin yung revised simplex iteration. Let's go to iteration 2. So, ito yung iteration 2. Okay? So, let's go here, iteration 2. So, as you can see, ang basic variables ko ngayon is x2, s2, and s3. Ito yon. Non-basic is x1 and s1. Itong dalawa, non-basic. So, balik tayo. Itong coefficient ng non-basic, -3/2 and 5/2, itong dalawang to, yan yung CBB inverse N minus Cn. See? -3/2 and 5/2. Okay? Ito yon. Next, yung constraint coefficients ng non-basic variables ko, x1 and s1. 1/2, 1/2, 3/2. Ito yon, B inverse N. 1/2, 1/2, 3/2, tapos 1/2, -1/2, -1/2. So ito yung dalawang columns na yun ng B inverse N. Okay? And then the rest, alam na natin, basic variables 0, basic variables identity matrix. Okay? Next, ito, Z value. Ito yon. Z value is 50. And then, 10 to 10. XB, X2, S2, S3. Ito yon. 10 to 10. X2, S2, S3. Okay? Then, kinuha natin yung entering and leaving variable. Entering natin, first column, X1. Ito yon. Entering variable, first column, X1. Ito yung pivot column. Ito yung buong column na yon. And the leading variable, yung ratio is 24 and 20 over 3. Ito yon. 24 and 20 over 3. We got the ratio here. And then going to the third iteration, the optimal point, Okay, again, you will see that Z is 56. Ito yun, Z is 56. And then XB is 844. Ito yun, 844 XB. Ito yung solution column. And then 1 and 3, actually S2, S1 tayo, kaya 3 and 1. S2, S1 tayo eh. So therefore, you will see that CBB inverse N minus Cn is 3 and 1. So kaya importante pag nililipat nito sa simplex tableau, alam niyo yung coefficient. Ito 3 is coefficient of S2. So dito ko yan ilalagay under S2. 1 is the coefficient of S1, dito ko yan ilalagay under S1. Ganon din yung B inverse N. S2, S1 yung order natin. So therefore, ang under S2 would be negative 1, 2, and negative 3. Ito yon. Okay? And under S1 would be 1, negative 1, and 1. Ito yon. And then the rest would be 0 and identity matrix na. Okay? You get me, class? For those who are still here, do you understand that the revised simplex is actually drawn and lifted from the simplex procedure? And therefore, all the requirements of the simplex tableau are met and satisfied by the revised simplex matrices.